Hi, everyone. I'm Brianna Anderson.
And I'm Laurel Houston.
This is the Bougie Boardroom, where luxury meets leadership, mentoring for women ready for wealth embodiment, strategy, and soul with sparkle. So, today we're going to talk about human design and what is it really? So, we're going to kick this off with a really hot topic. And Laurel, I'm going to ask you first. Let's talk about human design and really what is it?
Oh, so I actually, for me, human design is the thing that it's the map. None of us came with a manual, but we like to use maps, and it's the thing that helps us decode or maybe ask the questions that we don't know we need to ask. It is
Mm,
not fortune telling. It is not destiny. It is this beautiful compilation of seven different masterfully and ancient techniques. So I don't, how deep do we want to go with this, Brianna? What's human design to you?
I think we should go as deep as we want to. I think
Okay.
our listeners really prefer deep. I think that's why they're here. They're so sick of the mainstream ideas that don't work. So
Hmm.
I love that you're asking that because you actually nailed it. So human design, in the way I've perceived it, is the design for what it means to be a human and helping us understand the technology we have, what it means to have a soul, a spirit, a mental body, an astral body, an emotional body, it's the whole complex human system, and its design is to make life simple, in my opinion. So, with that being said, can I ask you what human design has changed the most in your life?
Oh gosh. Two things, honestly. One, my relationship with myself, and two, my relationship with other people. And I don't want to oversimplify it, but it really is that simple. And that is something that as the more I study this and the more that I already really had the ability to look from neutral at people. Like I didn't look, yes, there were things that I was like, oh, I like that about them, or oh, I don't like that about them. But really, it was more without giving them excuses or without giving them blame. It was like, who are you? What do I need to know about you? And especially as a parent, oh my goodness, like this has completely changed the way that I parent because I feel like all good people, so if you resonate with this, consider yourself, just check the box right now. I am good people. All
Uh-huh.
good people have a desire
Mhm.
to see others
Yeah.
and be seen. And I have to say that second part because so often in the personal development world, if you want to be seen, that's your ego. No, it's not. It's human nature. We all want to know who we are. We all want to know why we're here. That's why there's so many systems and religions and so many things that are helping us answer these questions. And so good people are asking the question, how do I see you? And how do I see myself in more truth and in more knowledge? And
Yes.
so that is honestly some of the biggest ahas that I have taken away from learning human design. I will say the one downfall, and we're just going to start there, is I have to ask you very personal information just to get your chart. Like that's the one thing about it that I don't like. So we'll talk about body mapping later in this season, but with that, all I have to do is look at you.
Uh-huh.
With
Uh-huh.
human design, I have to be like, here's my app. And what's your birthday? Where were you born? When were you born? And do
Uh-huh.
you know the exact time you were born? So there are some nuances there. So it's not something that you're like, first time you meet someone, you're like, give me all your personal information.
Yeah.
However, I will say that this is mainstream enough that there are enough people that I have asked, do you know this information? And they're like, oh, are you doing astrology? And I'm like, kinda.
That's included. Yeah,
That's part of
totally.
it. But
Yeah.
what about you? Because you've studied this longer than I have.
Yes.
Just full disclosure, Brianna is actually the first teacher that taught me human design in a way that I actually understood. So she's not the one that first introduced me to it. She's just the first person that introduced me to it in a way that I was like, oh, that's what you're saying. Okay, this makes sense now. Because one of her gifts is simplicity,
Mhm.
taking complex things and making them simple. And it's not over simple. It's like, oh, that is the one liner that just explained years of my life.
Mm.
So why tell us why you care about human design?
It started as trauma. So it started as God show me who I am. And I love what you just said. It was so profound. I hope every listener hears it again and again. Um, but it was the awareness that you said truth. And so I remember asking the question and going, so who am I? Because my previous philosophy was I'm broken, so how do I fix me? So that was the question I was living in, is how do I fix me? And then I had something happen where it was like, okay, now I want to live in a different question. So the question isn't, am I broken? The question is now, well, who am I when I'm not broken? Who am I underneath all of that? But to answer your question simply, I love human design because I had to heal my heart. And I knew that in order to do that, I had to get out of the human development process, which tells you that you need to develop yourself in order to know thyself. And I'm like, that just doesn't feel true anymore. So in my in my search to truth and meaning, it's really helped me create a life I love. You and I are huge on manifestation and goals and potential and souls and really just empowering women. And even this relationship, knowing what your business partner does and doesn't bring, and knowing what your gifts are. I'm like, can we even acknowledge the fact that business is so effing easy when you know what your gifts are?
Can we just pause there for a second?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the women that are going to listen to this are have a
Yep.
business. They're entrepreneurs, right? Or maybe they
Yeah.
are
Mhm.
working for someone else, but they're wanting to get stronger and higher up, whatever they're wanting to do more. I
Yes.
have done dozens, literally dozens of collaborations. And knowing, okay, this is Brianna's natural strength. I'm going
Mhm.
to go totally hands off of that and vice versa. There are certain things that I'm like, I used to apologize for, and I'm like, hey, I noticed this detail and this
Oh, that,
organizational thing. And Brianna's like, oh my gosh, I've never met anyone whose mind works the way yours works. She's
that,
like, do it,
that.
take it over. So there is no comparison, there is no competition. No part of this has been trying to prove better than the other person because I can look at your chart and be like, why am I trying to do that? She is naturally better at it, and vice versa.
Yeah,
And
right.
places that it's like, oh, okay, neither of us have a huge strength in this one particular area. So
Right.
now we know who we need to hire. Now we
Uh-huh.
know, okay, this is something we both need support on as we work through this. And it really has come through learning about human design.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that comes to mind as you're talking is, and I know we answered this, but I'm going to answer it again because we've asked each other like what it's done. I really get passionate about what it's not. And I think you started that with like destiny and choice. And I've seen so many people in this world, particularly human design, and they'll work so hard to get out of a box just to put human design as their new box, right? It's like you leave religion to find this new God, or you leave this box to find another box. And I think people misuse that when you understand what your gifts and your talents are. You see that consciousness doesn't have a level. And I think that you've seen that in your own life. I've watched you actually just transform. And I could have, tell me if I'm wrong. It's because you've chosen the path of like what's natural for you more than like, let me effort my way there.
Yes. So one of you said something and all of a sudden it put a catchphrase in my mind. And it was so often we go through trauma and we
Yeah.
get into personal development. But
Right.
what I say you and I are actually truly passionate about is not personal development. We're not developing you into anything. We're into personal discovery.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we do not teach personal development. We teach personal discovery. And
Yes.
human design, honestly, is one of the things that helps you discover.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's way more important than developing. Like you can't, because so many of us are trying to develop skills that go against our programming.
Uh-huh.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even getting into male versus female and cycles and daily versus monthly and hormones and all those things. I'm just talking on an individual level. When
Yeah.
we are asked to develop skill sets that go against our very fiber,
Yes.
and then
Mm-hmm.
we think that something about us is wrong. That
Right.
is what human design, honestly, I went, oh, nothing is wrong. Nothing
Yeah.
with me is wrong. I don't need to fix anything. I just need to focus on the things that are actually helpful in my life.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think that everything that you said is true. In fact, I realize, and this is just for our listeners as well, like it almost feels like everyone is quietly asking the question, what is my purpose? And I think when you realize how much there is to human design, you said it perfectly. It's not a system that is separate than astrology, that is separate than your chakras and your energy body, that is separate than the hexagram or all of these things. And so I often get asked by males, and we'll just throw it out there and go real blunt. How is this practical to my everyday life? Right. Because I don't think you relate with this anymore either. But like when people say it's woo, I'm like, I don't even relate to the terminology because if you actually understood the psychology of human behavior, what you're studying is the behaviors, the patterns, the emotions, the programs, the intellectual property of a soul. And when you're looking at the DNA in the cells of someone, it's like you said, you're asking them to work upstream against everything that says that's not the direction they're supposed to go. And then I think you and I get really passionate with our open identity centers and helping people understand that your direction is not this one-off trail they try to
Mhm.
convince you when you're so much more broad than the little story they tried to sell you.
Well, have you ever heard the phrase, millionaires watch statistics, billionaires watch the stars?
Uh-huh. 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 Right there.
And so, like, when people are like, what's the practical part of this? I'm like, it's not practical, it's mystical. And that's actually what makes it so powerful.
Yes. Uh-huh.
It
Uh-huh.
is that but here's the thing, it's a system. So it has, and and I bring this up because with if you've listened to the episode talking about masculine and feminine energy, human design has both. It has the structure, but it also has the flow. So it is a completely balanced system
Oh, yes. Hmm.
within and of itself. And so that to me is very important that you can look
Yes.
at statistics, and statistics are important. Or you
Mhm.
can look at the stars. You can look at astrology. You can look at chakras. You can look at the I Ching. You can look at psychology because psychology is actually part of human design.
Uh-huh. Yes. Hmm.
So how can people use this in their business? Let's answer their question. Like, okay, great. I can have a better relationship with my partner. I can have a better relationship with my children, with my family, with my parents. Cool, great. How will this make them more money?
Oh, this is like super practical, which is my favorite
Hmm.
jam, right? So this, and I love that you said that. So thank you for acknowledging my gift of simplicity so I could acknowledge your gift of super abundance. So let's start there. My entire company is like the more, and here's the thing, you have to, number one, to make this make money for you, you have to believe it. You cannot outsource belief from we can help you get there, but you have to believe that it's truth, number one. Number two, if you, this is the embodiment question, we might put it in the show notes or you might catch it now. I ask people to ask themselves, if I believed I was the best in the world at this one thing, what would I do differently?
Hmm.
Because the differently part is what adds the behavior change. So the very first place to start is your life's work. So you'll go to genekeys.com free profile. You'll fill in your birth information, as Laurel said. And the life's work is so much of your consciousness, 70% of your consciousness is under this either cloud or a rainbow based on your beliefs of it. And so, with your gift of your life's work, when you ask, what would I do different if I believed I was the best in the world at this, your business naturally comes through you. You don't chase your business, it unfolds. And so, go
So
ahead.
give an example of that because I've watched you do this with your business.
I actually am not going to see myself the way you do, but I'll try to answer that.
Okay, do you want me to say then?
Yeah, so I
Okay,
can
well,
read
first, tell them what your life's work is.
simplicity and translation. I am here to translate complex ideas into simple form.
Okay. So here is how I've seen this. When I first met Brianna, she was trying to pattern her business out after everyone else's business. This is what this expert told me to do. This is what this expert told me to do. This
Yeah.
is what my friend who makes money told me to do. And I was
Oh,
like, Brianna, your
yeah.
business is so complicated. And she was like, oh my gosh, that goes against my gene keys. That goes against my entire human design. And I
Mhm.
said, okay, so what are things that you can do? Like, this is all structural stuff. This is not personality flaws. This is structural stuff. Is
Yeah.
your structure simple for you to
Mm.
use. And you were like, no. And the second you changed it, you started getting more sales. The
Yeah.
second you changed it, all of a sudden it was you're showing up for your business again. But here's okay, so there's the business part of it. So that's actually literally how it's making her more money. But
Yes.
this is the next part of it. It's not just about money. It's what people look at you and go, I want that. They
Yeah.
look at Brianna's ability to take complex things
Hmm.
and make it not just seem simple, but actually be simple.
Hmm.
She's the
Hmm.
person that when you are spinning and you're like, I just can't get to the bottom of this, she's like, well, here's a one-liner. And I love your one-liners because I'm like, oh my gosh, that would have been like 3 pages and it's not even a paragraph to you. You're like, here's the statement you're looking for.
Yes.
And
Uh-huh.
so the beautiful part about it is you literally help simplify other people's lives.
Literally. Yeah. I thank you for saying that. Yeah, that's true.
And it's not just simple for the sake of being simple, it's simple for the sake of being happy.
That's true. I would say that.
When you help, and I've watched her work with countless people, that when she helps them see how simple things can be, they
Mm.
have more joy. And so it's the thing that's helping sustain not just your business, but your relationships.
Oh, heck yeah. And what came to mind too, and I love this so that we can thank you, I receive and spotlight you so that people can see the tangibility, not just like the conversation alone. But the reason I feel like so many people don't start businesses or don't start the like freaking impact is because they feel like imposters. But
Hmm.
in order to do that, it's like you said, you had to call me out on where I was living in complexity because I couldn't do it for myself. And when I did it for myself, I was like, dude, I can do this for you in my sleep because I had to do it for me, right? And so, like, tell us what your life's work is. Like, what is your life's work?
Superabundance.
Okay.
So the thing actually I like about it more, so it's immaturity, expansion, and superabundance. So I take things that people don't finish
Mm-hmm.
and I get them to not only finish it, like get things to completion, but at a stronger, more expansive level that's sustainable and consistent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've watched you do this too. And when I met you, I don't think you were ever not doing this, but I've watched your reframes change around even the word, right?
Mhm.
Like someone here, super abundance. And I'm like, why don't I have that gene key, God? What the F? I want to be super abundant. But then you meet people that have it and you're like, again, hands off. I love that she can do that naturally. You've done it in my life. I've watched you do it, but I really want to spotlight even what Gene Key 53 does. And it takes the idea of immaturity. Someone will have an idea, maybe not the confidence, maybe not the support, whatever they're lacking. And Laurel is the person that says, yeah, this idea that feels like this big, we're going to grow it up and make it this big. And so to expand, there is not one person that comes, and even in your coaching clients, word of mouth, right? We live in a beautiful town, is how much you expand people to go beyond what they thought they could maybe dream for themselves. And
Mhm.
I don't know if you see that, but I hear it all of the time. Like they thought they could handle this much. And then you go and you're like, actually, there's this much more available. And so have you seen that? Have you seen the ripple effect of your work?
I have, and actually my favorite thing to do is when someone comes to me and they're like, this is the thought that I had. I'm like, "Oh, that's such a cute seed. Do you want me to turn it into a full-blown plant for you?"
Yes.
And the thing is they're like, "Wait, I thought I had to put in all this time and energy and effort and hard work." And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no." So this is actually the really beautiful thing about Brianna and I together. Her simplicity mixed with my expansion, we
Yes.
literally help people quantum leap.
Mhm.
So I take their baby plan,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
she makes it simple,
Uh-huh. And
I
then
help them expand it. She helps helps them translate it so that other people in the world are like, yes, yes, I want this too.
yes.
So, okay, now let's talk about the other side of that really quick.
Okay.
Because you said this when we were talking about yours. When I am not in my purpose,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't finish anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the person that starts and then I'm like, nah. So, Brianna, she's talking about ideas, but I'm also the person that is going to stomp my foot, throw my hands in the air, fold my arms like a 2-year-old and say, but it's not fair. like an immature child would do. And so for me, when I get in that place, I recognize I'm like, oh, this is literally the universe and my angels saying to me, you
Yes.
have stepped outside your purpose. You're no longer in expansion. You're no longer in superabundance. And so I'm like, oh, I went into immaturity because
Mm,
this is the way my soul says, hey, you turned the wrong direction.
yes.
Have you
Uh-huh.
found that when you go into complexity, it's literally your soul saying, hey, you turned the wrong direction?
Oh yeah, totally. In fact, I love the reference points in many books, but my favorite reference point is like, it's called your life's work for a reason. It's like it's a refining fire. It's like you're going to go around the universe over and over and over again, and the universe in which you travel is your life's work. It's like you're going to circle it over and over, and that is mastery. And so I tell people, don't you want to know your mastery in this lifetime? So when you dip into the opposite flavor, and I'm in complexity, I go, it actually humbles me, to be honest. It's the balance, it's the water to my fire. Like I can be on an ego pedestal and be like, I make your life simpler, right? And then I hit complexity and it's like, wow, it's like that direct relation with, I remember when I was here, and it gives me
Mhm.
compassions for my clients. I actually think it's the, when you said that, it got me real charged. When I hit that place of my shadow, what's called the shadow, like you would with immaturity and me with complexity, it's the reminder that when I don't choose my life's work, someone is living here every single day because I don't open my
Mm.
mouth. So every time I touch the place I don't want, I remember someone is on their knees asking for someone to translate the one liner to shift their timeline. And when I choose not to do my life's work, like, do you feel the essence of that?
I do, and that was I'm gonna have to do some journaling after this phone call because I really needed to hear that. Every time I go into immaturity, every time I step out of my life's purpose, that means that someone else is not expanding.
Yes.
That means that super abundance is not being sent throughout my community and their community.
Yes.
It's the opposite of the ripple effect.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Absolutely.
we're holding the stone and refusing to drop it in the river, to drop it
Mm-hmm.
in the lake. It's like, no, no, no. We are on a glassy, clear lake and we're holding the stone that so many people are asking for the ripple effect for. And we're like, but I feel insecure, but I have imposter syndrome, so I'm not going to drop my stone.
Yes, yes, yes. Everything you just said, yes.
Okay, so because clearly we cannot talk all the ins and outs of human designs in this 30-minute, 40-minute call. So, in the show notes, we will list a couple of our favorite websites.
Yes.
And I will also say this, go to them, like start exploring, do your thing, and it will overwhelm you. You need a teacher for this. This is not, human design is not one of those things that you can go to ChatGPT and ask it to explain it to you because they get a lot of it wrong. I'll just tell you right now,
Yes.
they get a lot of it wrong. So this is not something that you want to use just Google. So we'll give you some of our favorite websites, but also Brianna didn't know I was going to do this. Brianna, tell them how they can learn human design from you.
I would love that. So let's put the link in the show notes. You're so kind. So I have an academy, literally for a year, because a year is the require. Let's put it this way. I have an academy. It's called Universal Love Academy. We're going to return you back to universal love for yourself and for everyone else. And it's going to teach you human design. I have a whole academy on human design, and I would love for you guys to participate if it brings joy to your soul, and you're crazy if you don't, because the thing you're hungry for the most is your own essence. But we'll put that in the show notes if that's okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you ever do one-on-one sessions with people?
If they reach out to me and it feels aligned, absolutely. Am I marketing that? No.
And if someone wants to really deep dive into human design and learn all the ins and outs, is that something that you offer either personally or a group or certification?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I do a certification, and for 5 months, for 20 weeks straight, I teach you the language of human design. You know the symbology of human design. You learn all 7 systems of it, how it goes together in a really simple way. So if you want to become the teacher and the leader of this work, I have a certification. All kinds of ways and aspects to work with me. So whether it's the academy certification or one-on-ones, there's absolutely a way that this can become your everyday life. So
I
we'll
love
include.
it. And she
Thank
didn't know I was going to ask those questions. She was just excited. And this is what I'm going to This is one of the reasons why I truly adore
Mhm.
um, human design from you, because so many people teach human design from the perspective of, I am the authority and you must come to me if you want to understand this.
Mm-mm.
Brianna teaches it from, I'm going to make this so simple that you understand it, and then you can continue to learn and grow and let this be a self-study for as long as you want it to be.
Mhm.
Because never once, and I'm sure I've been through her certification program. I use it with my clients. So
Yes.
this is something that if you truly want a teacher and a role model and a mentor who embodies what she teaches and is excited when you learn it and understand it too,
Mhm.
that is one of the reasons why, without any problems, I recommend her program. Anyone who I don't, even when I have clients that have worked with me for years and they're like, Laurel, do you certify people in human design? I'm like, no, but Brianna does.
And you teach it so lovely too. That's what I love is that you do teach it, and you're symbol. The way you explain symbols and like the way you help images click is like unreal. It's a whole nother level of channels. But thank you.
Yeah. So, yes, if you want to listen to us talk about human design on another call, we are going to talk about gene keys a little bit later. But if you
Mhm.
want to interact with this, so we are asking you to follow, subscribe, click all the buttons. But if you want to hear more about human design or a particular topic that we've already talked about, so if you want us to go deeper into masculine and feminine, if you want us to go deeper into some of the things that we've already talked about, please, in the comment section, either on whatever platform you're watching this on, whatever your favorite platform is, please interact in the comment section and let us know if there are topics we've already touched on that you want us to go deeper on, or if you have specific questions. We would love to really make this podcast something that is helpful for you. I mean, it's fun for us. We're going to do it regardless. But if there's a direction that you guys are excited or things that you want to know about, please share that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a few more minutes. What
Cool.
are some of your
Mm,
favorite, most impactful, like human design? What is it really?
okay.
When people say, Brianna, what do you do? And you say, oh, I teach, one of the things she does is she teaches human design. And they go, well, what is that? Why do I need to know about that? Why do they
Mm.
need to know?
Simple words. First answer, you need to know your gifts and your talents if you're going to have any leverage in this world, period. If you want to pay your bills, you got to know what your talents are. Um, Human design is the ability to like know what's correct for you. And it's like you said, it's not just simple, but it does simplify your life, but it's the part where you said it's the happiness. It's the happiness part. It's like you can go watch tons of YouTube videos, and I'm not saying education doesn't have its place, but there's a huge difference between education that doesn't touch the soul and then education, which is like, oh, so that thing I naturally do that I thought was weird is actually what I'm here to help other people do. So it's the fish in water. And I just think it's for leverage, bottom line. You learn it because you want leverage in your own life. You want power over your life.
So as you were talking, the thought came to me because before you asked, what, and I would say the number, if people are like, what's the one thing that I need to learn about my human design?
Yes.
Your authority. If
Mm-hmm.
you are in a place in your
Mm-hmm.
healing journey that you are done developing and you are ready to discover and embody,
Yes, that's true.
understanding your human design authority
Mm-hmm.
reconnects you to yourself in a way that everything else has disconnected you from. So
That's
if you were taught to look outside yourself for answers, that something, someone, whether that was a political structure, school, religion, I don't really care. If
yeah.
you were taught that authority comes from outside of you and that you can't trust what's inside of you,
Mm,
that's where you need to start. Human design is the thing that helps you call back your power. So, for the
mm,
women that are listening to this, that are
mm.
wanting to feel safe in their power again and to really embody and embrace that you're allowed to be powerful, that you want
Yeah.
to take back your voice, that you want to feel safe to be seen, learn about your human design authority.
Hmm.
Would
Yeah.
you agree with that?
Oh yeah, as soon as you said that, I'm like, I know that you even have experiences too, but when and I don't say this lightly, it has literally saved my life more than once
Hmm.
on having to make a decision someone could not have made for me otherwise. So I don't say it with like, and not that it needs to be serious, but I love what you say. Actually, some things are very serious.
Yeah.
And how are the decisions that you're making so far, right? Like, I really don't believe in the narrative that we have to learn through pain anymore, especially when you learn
Hmm.
your authority. You
Yeah.
learn the only time you have pain is when you don't trust it, right? And so, how has that changed your life? I mean, we have a few minutes if you don't mind. How has that changed your life?
For sure. So a couple of things. One, I realized that and I'm going to pride myself on this. I actually trust myself a lot more than personal development had led me to believe.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So for my particular human design authority, I'm what's called a sacral authority.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, it gave me permission to not have to overthink everything. Because a
Yeah.
lot of times, don't you need to think that through? I'm like, no, I know. I know, like I know with certainty that this is what I'm supposed to do.
Yes.
So the other part of this though is with your authority, not everyone has the same one. There's six.
Seven technically, but yes.
Okay,
I
so seven different types of authority. There's three of them just in the people that live in my home. My husband has a different authority than I do, two of my three kids. And
Mhm.
so with them, and this is actually really important because if you ever felt like you weren't allowed to make decisions for yourself as a child, or you weren't given the proper tools to make decisions for yourself,
True.
knowing that one of my children has the same authority as I do and is really good. And in fact, those split second in the moment decisions are actually the best way for him. But my two other children have a type of authority that need time and they need space. And if they don't have time and space, they feel pressured. So
Yeah,
how I ask them questions changes
absolutely.
just based on knowing what their authority is.
Mm-hmm. We need to do a whole episode just on relationships because the thought that came to mind, like the children have got to be like so blessed. And I've said this to you literally. I'm like, your children are so blessed, and it's not my mama's fault, right? Like we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
But what's so cool when you said that is my husband has a different authority than I do, and how many romantic relationships would transform if they didn't have the belief in we have to be on the same page in some
Mhm.
things, and like you can still write a book and still be working on different chapters, right? And so
Yep.
I just love what you said because I bet there's a woman who's like, well, more wealth, more power, and more abundance and prosperity and all the things. And what good is that if your foundation at home is not set, right? And I know that that's a whole nother topic. So
Yeah. Yeah.
thanks. Cool.
So that is something that it's not just your purpose. It's not human design, what is it? It's a complete system that helps
Mhm.
you not just understand your purpose, but your identity, why you have energy in certain aspects and why you don't. If you're
Yeah.
an actual empath or if you're just really good at reading micro expressions because you live in trauma response, like human design answers a lot of those questions. How the world sees you versus how you
Yeah.
see yourself. There's profiles, there's types, there's so many different things within this. But really, what it is
Mm-hmm.
helping you see and develop, well, not develop and discover, not develop who you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's to me, development is about skill sets, but
Yeah.
discovery is
It's like
more identity.
yeah. Yeah. It's like unearthing. Would you say that? It's
Yeah,
like earthing what's already been there. We're sculpting, but it's already been there.
yeah, yeah, very
It
much so.
feels like human design too, if you like, if for anyone that's listening is like more of an orientation to like how you relate to things, like orientation has the ability to change every aspect in your life. So I want to also say this with preference for our listeners. It will change your life. So if you're
Mhm.
ready for change, you really just have to let it unfold. And I think that goes against everything that we're taught. Like we're taught we need to resist instead of just allow. And it's the
Mhm.
opposite, right? And so I love that it actually reverses the tide.
Oh, so much so.
Yeah.
So we are, like all of our episodes, we do have an after conversation for those that are in our paid version of this. And we are going to talk a little bit more about the different authority types.
Mhm.
So if you have not yet subscribed, you can do so in the show notes. And we are excited to see you here next week. So
Yes.
thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. Have a good day, guys.